We're not. We're a for-profit. We're not a nonprofit. We didn't want to get entangled with all the nonprofit world stuff, and we really wanted to launch quickly. And so, building of the board and waiting around to get certified for nonprofit sometimes takes a year or more. And so, we felt an urgency to open up because we understood that Winwood needed it, and we can do it now. I have the energy to do it now, and so we, opened up as a for-profit, and we could still become a nonprofit one day, but we could still get grants, and it just depends on which of those grants that we apply for. And I think that there's a shift that's starting to happen within the philanthropy world or within the grant world, that they understand a little bit of the colonial mentality that exists within the nonprofit world, and how becoming maybe being a for-profit challenges this sort of colonialist view of what an arts institution needs to be or how it needs to operate. And so we're all about breaking the rules, starting museums that shouldn't exist or haven't existed yet, becoming a corporation that is different from the way that other people do it. Because quite frankly, imagine if you're going out and looking for grants and you're saying you're starting to look for grants for graffiti anything. It's not in the institutions yet. It's not in the history books and the quote unquote art history books yet. It's not taught in universities. There's no practical classes on it. It's still seen as a clandestine movement and an annoyance to many. And so how am I going to ask for grant money for that? When I went to the NYFA meetings in New York City years ago, and I proposed this question many years before the museum, I said, would you guys ever give money to a graffiti art institution because I'm interested in starting something? They said, don't ever use the word graffiti art if you're applying for money. You'll never get it from us. And this is the state funded, like they're the grant, they're the re-grant organization for all the art institutions, and they were totally against it. But the people that run those art institutions and those organizations are very far removed from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, or Wynwood, Miami, and in street art culture or in any street culture. And so they're more on Fifth Avenue, on Museum Mile, and maybe studying Matisse's than they're studying Phase 2 and an art form that came out of the South Bronx.